Hey guys, you've joined us live at Moneycontrol. I'm Manisha Gupta, and the focus today is on palm oil prices, which have continued to be volatile. We did see the prices go all the way down to a 15-week lows and some recovery from there, but the prices have seen yet another pressure coming in. While the Chinese demand is anticipated to be on the positive side, we have seen the Indian demand decline for the month of September, and that is because India has imported record amounts in the month of July and August. We are sitting on huge inventories right now, and the expectation is that starting from here in the month of October, November and December, as well as we are into festivities, you could be looking at a stronger number of imports continuing here, but not records. On the other side, we also are looking at the rival edible oil prices seeing some support, and that in turn is expected to support palm oil prices. The Indonesian output is estimated up 5%. Markets were anticipating much higher number onto that one, so that is yet another thing to watch out for. But from here on, how is the market and what's the sense in Malaysia in sense of production and inventories? To get all those numbers in perspective, we are joined by Sandeep Bhan from Sime DArby Oil. Sandeep, hi, good to have you as always. What's your sense, first of all, on the Malaysian numbers itself, whether it has been about production, consumption, exports, and the domestic markets seem to be quite supportive as well?
On the production side, it was a bit of a surprise in the sense that market was expecting 6 to 7% upside in the production, but it came out close to 4.3%. And that gives a trend of indication that we might be seeing slowdown in production in coming months.
Okay.
In terms of exports was dropped by 2.1%. That was mainly because there was this expectation of Indonesia lowering down its export and levy by around $50. Which did not happen, and then the process of exports happening back in Indonesia took place, and that did not come to Malaysia. So with export numbers are not a surprise. And stocks, market was expecting even higher than 2.3 million tons. Market's expectation was around 2.4 million tons, which did not turn out, and it turned out to be 2.31 million tons, which is considered to be well within the expectation and already factored into the prices. What was biggest surprise among all the numbers was the local disappearance, which practically doubled, which was 479,000 metric tons in the month of September, as against close to 250,000 in August. So overall, the numbers within expectation, bit of a surprise in local disappearance, and otherwise within expectation in terms of stock, mildly less, and in terms of production numbers, coming months, challenging.
Sandeep, all the edible oil conferences and summits that seem to be happening around the globe right now do believe that the sell-off in edible oils is done with now, and from here it could be consolidation, even a bit of an uptick. What's your sense?
See, if we see this morning when Bursa Malaysia opened up for the trade and market immediately reacted and it dropped down to a low of 35.20 ringgit for the third month in the futures market. And it was in anticipation that we might see a very bearish report coming from MPOB. But when the report came out after market closed, it was completely a bit of a surprise in the sense that we didn't see that kind of end stocks, and market recovered back by at least 70 points. We are now just 20 points down from the day's high. So it looks like the market has found a sort of a bottom at 3,500.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. So going forward now, would you say that with the kind of numbers that we are dealing with or reacting to coming in from Malaysia, you could be looking at some support, adding the fact that China perhaps is back into some buying. The biofuel as an industry seems to be picking up as well.
See, the major factor at this moment will be the Indonesian El Nino, which is very severe. In Kalimantan, what was discussed the other day in the conference also, that is going to be a big impact. That is, in fact, a support level intact. Yes, in terms of demand, we should see China back in the market. China is already back yesterday after long holidays. But China, in the previous run, when they came into the market, they bought over basically September and October shipments. But they haven't yet bought anything for November, December onwards. So we are looking forward for Chinese demand to come back. As for India, yes, India had a very big stocks. Numbers were very big, but September saw a bit less imports. And we should see India back into the market of taking around 7 to 800,000 tons of oil in the month of October.
Sandeep, would you say that the kind of record imports that India did for the month of July and August is behind us, and for the next few months is going to be the average imports that India anyway does into the international market?
First, India always surprises now. So it can be any time, any record, another bulk. But yes, I agree, it might be a normal demand of somewhere around 700 to 800,000 tons each month in coming months.
Sandeep, while we have seen a lot of food, prices react to when Russia and Ukraine went to a conflict, and we have seen that happen yet again after what's happening with Israel and Palestine. Do you see a long-lasting impact from this, or what has happened in last 24 hours is a knee-jerk reaction?
So, yeah, it was a knee-jerk reaction. I hope the peace prevails there. What happened was that we saw the jump in the crude oil, but then it didn't sustain. So we are seeing markets already have factored in that scenario.
From here on, what's your sense on prices going forward? Because we've seen soy oil see some support, Sunseed is looking at some support as well. How are you looking at edible oil as a sector in sense of price moves and demand, and especially for palm?
See, for the major factor for palm would be that we are now entering into the seasonally lower production months. So at basis that we should see now like 3,500 does seem to be a supported level, well support level compared to other oils, and also palm still being the cheapest oil among all the oils. So that should give us support at 3,500.
And are you looking at prices moving on to 4,000? I mean, that really seems to be coming in various reports.
That we'll have to see in terms of something dramatic needs to happen globally to push prices back to 4,000.
All right, but we'll live with the fact that 3,500 seems like a support right now. Sandeep, thank you so much as always for joining us and talking to us in detail about the palm oil prices. Remember, India does import a big chunk, 60 to 65% of palm oil overall between the edible oil imports that we see into India, and those prices seem to be sustaining, even getting at a support at a lower levels right now.